Hello there, Twitch. My name's Colm, and with me at this time is the wonderfully talented John. And John, you're a concept artist. Now, naturally enough, I have no idea what that means. So can you please tell me?
Well, essentially, I basically come up with quick ideas, paintings, drawings, sketches that influence the design process of the game.
So this is the idea of a concept artist is kind of to put an idea onto paper before it actually goes in the game.
Exactly. Like sometimes people don't know what they want to see. They've got an idea about the general world and the people that maybe exist in it, or but they might have an idea for a space or an environment which has a purpose, but they don't know how they want it to look. And so my job is to kind of give them some options. I was working on this. And it's a respawn station, so when players die in the game, they might find themselves, they will return to one of these stations and enter the game again.
Right, yeah.
So this is like a Saborian architecture.
What architecture, sorry?
So Saborians were one of the cultures that existed in the world, Worlds Adrift, before the collapse, as they call it. But I can't talk too much about the cultures really at this point.
That's fine.
But,
we'll glass over it.
But it's all good.
What's going on here? You said you were talking about Jack.
Right, so basically, the idea was, so basically they wanted to get rid of these two sharper areas. Let me just like a brush a sec. I'll just like these guys.
Okay.
And kind of flatten off this space here, so it kind of flows around into the room more like so.
Okay, all right.
So, jumped in at an interesting point because I've pretty much knocked it all back. It's very rough at this stage, but I'm just trying to kind of...
Do you have what the image was kind of like
a few steps
back? Or?
For sure, I've got every step actually if you want to go through them, because I mean, I imagine a lot of people don't really know how this stuff works, and to be honest, everyone has their own approaches, so mine might be completely different to any of you guys out there. I'm no purist, by the way, guys. I'm very much a photo basher and a 3D basher. And
some would say the James Dean of concept art.
Well, I'll take that one. Yeah. Like that, mate. I came up with this yesterday. So, okay. I mean, if some of you have seen some of the previous concepts floating around, you might recognize this angel kind of motif floating around, which again is a Saborian reference. But you'll find out why when you play the game. And so, okay.
So in its current incarnation, it looks like what we were looking at there 2 seconds ago. But before you change to that, that's where you're currently at with this.
That's where I'm at right now. So okay. Like this. Okay.
Well, if nothing else, John, I'm impressed.
Oh, thank you very much, Cole. So I fixed it up, lightened areas, and tried to sort the lighting out a little bit. And then I very quickly rough in textures, and it looks like crap. But that's okay because
give you an idea of
it's to give you some noise, because there's nothing worse than staring at blank kind of areas. It's quite intimidating sometimes. You'll hear of a lot of concept artists that will paint from abstraction, sort of spit painters, speed painters, and the reason they do that is because there's nothing worse than staring at a white blank space and you don't kind of know where to start. One thing about 3D is it adds, pretty much the way I do it anyway, it adds very little atmosphere and depth. It always looks very kind of sort of flat. So by adding
the kind of the first layer you were talking about,
yeah. Totally. I always feel like it kind of looks very solid. So by kind of adding a fog, you can kind of define edges and just sort of bring a few things closer to the camera.
Yeah.
then I start to bring in stuff like just photos, you know. I don't even really think too much about what it is right now, just looking for some cool shapes and maybe some textures, you know, like.
So just kind of for inspiration?
Yeah,
or
just something to work over, like.
And to blatantly plagiarise, John. If the jig is up, John, you've been
I am a thief, like, of the highest degree, like, so taking photos, watch out, man, because I'm going to steal them and slam them.
Google Images is your friend.
Google Images is the best. Then there's a little bit of paint stuff there, just fooling around, like just adding some noise really, and just tidying up a few areas.
That's the little thing.
Yeah, I used this on a previous concept actually, and I just thought I'd bash it in to see if it worked. Like, don't be afraid to cut up old paintings and slam them into new ones. Like, as I said, this game is about speed, and sometimes like that's the best way to do it rather than drawing everything out again. But I don't know, I'm not feeling actually that piece, but we'll leave it in. Some more little things. You'll notice a lot of these layers are just doing tiny little things,
small little touches to just kind of lighting or textures or
totally. There's a really subtle color shift here, like a little groove. I've got a couple of like a warm color balance, a cool color balance, and a human sat layer. It's just kind of pulling this stuff together a bit. Like turn
it off and turn it on.
Okay, it's really subtle, guys, but it's slightly brown.
You're lying to me, John. I can't see anything happening here.
Okay, let's crank it up so you can actually see this. Actually, it's still really soft, but there's a slight warmer tone to it, guys. Actually, like before, and I've cooled it down. I'm cooling down the shadows a little bit. That's all. It's not that important. It just, when you're throwing a few photos around in an image, I'm impatient, so I don't stand there kind of altering each one at a time. I'll often just let them do what they're doing, and kind of every sort of few layers I'll adjust and kind of gradually throughout the painting harmonize like the different colors and layers that are going on, because otherwise you kind of end up with a nasty mess of various colors and things like that. So it's subtle, but over time, and there'll be a few groups like that, like throughout, that kind of do that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm starting to add in some details, just to kind of see what's working and stuff. Like the Saborians have a slight deco kind of brutalist influence about them, so just trying some patterns and seeing if anything works.
Is this just a result of you kind of messing around, or did this actually come from?
A few of these kind of shapes, you know, we've been working on these guys for a while. You know, a few of the shapes are like reoccurring themes so far with some of the ruins. So I'm just like kind of trying things out in that kind of vein. Like I just came up with them today, but they're, you know, we've been working on these guys for a while. So I have an idea of how the sorts of patterns that they're going to use within their architecture at this point. So I'm just putting stuff down. This is kind of a cool one, actually. Hold on. Basically, I'll sort of draw in a basic hard round brush, like these kind of shapes. And if you double click your layer, you bring up this, not the layer, double click the thumbnail and add some inner shadow. And that sets those, if the color is light enough, like that'll set those in and add just a tiny bit. Hold on a sec, let me show you that. I'm so not used to this computer.
I don't know what you're doing, John, but I'm very intrigued.
Okay. So, for example, we get down to this kind of area.
Yeah.
You can see that if I turn off the effects, it's just a flat drawing, essentially. So, yeah, add them back in and add some kind of depth to them. So, like a carving. So,
some sort of evil witch, John.
Your inner shadow, like you adjust the light direction to whatever's going on in the image, and that will just give you that like kind of implied. Oh God! Come on! Here we go. Kind of carving effect.
Okay.
And so this is affecting pretty much everything, and then I've erased into it. Like so, I liked how it was darkening off the areas and adding just a little bit of noise again. marble's cool. You get these nice light streaky kind of areas going on in it.
So like, when you say you painted into it, so what did you just have like a kind of a blanket color and kind of?
No, I just like laid the photo on and erased into it actually. So I'm just kind of where maybe like, you know, edges were meeting with that texture. You don't need that. Like you don't want the texture linking from, for example, here onto here because they're not connected. There's a difference in the space. So just knock a few areas back. Like only keep it where you really need it. But again, it's just noise. Like that's how I work. I like to just make. I work quite messy actually. Like I just like creating a lot of noise early on and just gradually like refine it.
Most geniuses do, John.
Thanks,
Most geniuses do. Look at Steve McLaren.
This is a nice pink color.
Okay. Just with the opacity turned.
Yeah, let's put it back to normal. I'm going to put it back to normal. So I got this.
Okay.
And
what was the aim of adding?
The aim is I love these different layers. They put like they create random as hell colors, like, but generally the main color you've put down will like fall into the darker areas and tone your shadows out a little bit. So I work back and forwards with them, like, and you've got to be very subtle with them because it can kill your painting. But basically, if we put this to a difference there. So yeah, you get these crazy colors.
Oh, okay, right.
And then slide this right on down. It just, you see how it's toning the image? Like, I'll flick it on and off in a sec. So you get that. And it's starting to harmonize like all the ingredients.
Kind of a rustic effect.
Yeah,
it just,
it's quite cinematic by the end. When you reach like the final point, like a lot of people only apply this stuff like near the end of the painting, but I add it gradually throughout. I like working then on top of it.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of bringing it all together. It's toning those the shadow areas and sort of just harmonizing the colors you've got going on in there so far. So that's over there now. So I'm just been defining some edges here. You see, like if I actually just quickly click back to here, the edges of that angel like are pretty defined.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was kind of losing them. It's recessed behind various texture and things like that. So I've just sharpened up some edges there, a bit of edge control. Important to get like a nice mix of hard and soft edges in your pieces. Some hue saturation, taking the color down a little bit at this point. Just again, it just helps to harmonize stuff. I don't like over saturated images at all. Right, so here's where the change started to take place, actually, like, and I only just did this, so apologies, because it's actually kind of taken away some of the nice stuff we had.
The image is actually changing a fair amount, is it?
Yeah. They wanted to open it up a little bit, make it feel more like a kind of not circular, but like an open space.
Yeah.
Like, more like sort of template-esque or something, and give the player a bit more kind of space to see around. I initially wanted to kind of create like, I don't know, a focal kind of area for the player to kind of walk into, like, and read whatever's on the wall, or maybe look at things, like look at the imagery. But I don't know, it kind of cuts into the room too much, and it could create like potential unwanted obstacles in game if this gets built, maybe, it's just better like actually to kind of open this up for the player and let them see the space for what it is. So we're going to cut that out so it's back like that, and you see it works better, I think, actually. Like, you've got to ignore the fact it's rawer at this point. I know what you're saying. Some light spots. I think this is too bright. There's too much attention here. It's drawing your eye in. Realistically, by the end, I'd like the eye to draw more towards this area, so by killing off maybe some of this light, although it is the light source, so you've got to be aware of that.
So you'll use this for reference for...
I'm going to use this as texture, so first I'll rasterize it so I can erase it, and then I'm going to set it to a soft light for now, because the beauty of soft light is it doesn't really affect your lights and shadows too much. You see, you kind of, it's not really doing too much to the darks. So I don't know. This is going to change. I'm just demoing now, really.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
just move it around, move stuff around. Like, try it. Like,
So what you're telling me is it's actually easy enough to be a concept artist.
anyone can do it, man. I didn't even know what this was 2 years ago. So, and that's the truth. Like, I just used to paint like abstract oil paintings, and kind of found out about this and learned more about it, and just really wanted to dive in. And just it's a lot of work. You've got to know your fundamentals, and you've got to know how to bash this stuff. It's okay. This little bit here on the edge here. So I'm gonna.
So basically,
get in there,
you just kind of like just erase all the rest of it, and or just kind of.
Yeah, totally. Just leave a little bit.
Oh, okay, I'm with you. Yeah.
Just leave what's. I'll paint into that. I'll probably paint some more cracks into it at some point. Just duplicate that stuff. Like, it looks really cool on there, actually. Like, that actually looks really good. So leave him here. Maybe
So, I
just
mean,
stretch it in
a lot of it is just kind of just playing around with things, seeing how they
Totally,
look.
man. Yeah. I very much adopt the Frankenstein technique, I call it, because it's a bit of everything, really. And until stuff works, but I'll probably continue to ruin the building now, like break chunks out of it,
Yeah.
For example, complement the stuff that's going on here.
That's pretty cool, John. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much, Colm.
I've learned an awful lot that I will forget straight away, but I've enjoyed the hour.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank
mate.
you for watching, and we'll probably be seeing you again
Thanks, guys.
next week. Bye-bye.